Hi there, welcome to the Mountain of God. My name is Camille. Today is 9th of August 2021. Welcome to video number 47. Today I want to talk more about our reality and how and what we're supposed to understand about it to understand what's going on, based on what we talked about for the last two videos. Because the two videos ago, in video number 45, if I remember correctly, I talked about this reality of war, that we as a church basically forgot, I think, about what Bible says about what is going on and how we as Christians supposed to understand what's going on in the world and what is going on in the context of Christianity and in general. But especially now as we are approaching the end times and we are basically here. But I want to go deeper into what does it really mean in our day-to-day life, so we would not only be operating in this abstract level, but our really day-to-day lives and understand what does it really mean for us every day. So we see, one of the things that I said, which is what I try to really remind all of us, is that we are at war because Satan has a grudge with God, but he has nothing on him, so he attacks basically us as God's creation. And one thing that Dad said, or God said about devil, is that he is liar and father of lies. And I want to kind of look at what does it really mean and how you can see in your day-to-day life that this is happening. And let's start with something obvious, something self-explanatory. If you have any doubts that politics is based on lies, you've been living under the rock. I think it's obvious for everyone, and that's why it's a growing trend that we don't trust our politicians, and we don't trust them for many times, but especially in the last few years, I guess, it's growing even more because of what's going on. We don't trust them because they lie all the time. So I don't even have to go deep into that. That's obvious. But if you think about the things that are kind of part of our lives every day, it becomes even clearer if you just pay attention just for a few minutes. When we talk about food, if you looked at this subject at least for a few minutes, you know that everything that is basically pushed on us as what is marketed, I'll say it this way, it's bad for us. Because we know, and science basically is clear about it, that everything that we eat, which is kind of what do we eat basically right now, which is processed, that's the word I was looking for, is bad for us because the sugar, the salt, and the fat is basically killing us. Everything which is processed is bad for us. And we know that. You don't have to, you can agree or disagree, or you may say, I know, but I'm going to eat this thing anyway. But do you really think that we don't know about it? Science knows about it for years. And even though when you look, when you just launch your TV, what you get marketed to you? Something is bad for you. Fast food, meat, dairy, processed food, not even mentioning sweets. It's all bad for us. But this is, marketed to because it's profitable. So why would they tell you to eat fruits and vegetables if they can tell you to eat something that they can sell to you? That you cannot grow that in your own garden. Even though you may say, no, it's a new thing, the science are just discovering this. Well, if you read your Bible, what is the thing that they ate in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve? Did they get a McDonald's or something like this? Not really. So that's why it's obvious, and we knew about it for a long time, but it's profitable. So that's why nobody teaches you that at school. Nobody tells you. Everything is just like, no, eat it. It's gonna be fine. Really. The same thing, close to that is the pharmaceutical or medical field. If you look close enough, you can see that it has nothing to do with healing you. It's for the money. Why? Because all those remedies that worked, that our grandmas and grandmas were using, it's not valid right now. Now you can take a pill. And the best part is that even if you look at the commercials, they'll tell you it straight to your face that it's supplement, or that it's going to deal with your pain, or deal with the results, but it's never going to fix the underlying issue. So that's why if you don't want to have this affects pain or something, you'll have to basically take the pill for the rest of your days, unless it's going to go even, the underlying issue is going to go deeper, and then you'll have to do something about it. You're going to be basically taking the pill until the day you die. And that's happening with many things. But if you need something more, something more important to do, whether that's going to be a test or some procedure, you're going to pay tremendous amount of money. Why? Because medicine is not for you to be healthy. Medicine is a business, and it's a way to profit from you. So it's profitable for you to be sick, not to be healthy. The same thing with technology. You see, I'm an engineer, so it's like I can talk about it for hours. But do you know that the first car was an electric car? That was the lobbyists of those who had kind of monopoly on gasoline, that they forced or they pushed towards switching that to fossil fuel engines. Do you know that car battery is over 100 years old thing, and they really think we never found anything better? Do you know that the brother Wrights, the amount of time in between brother Wrights when they start this whole flying business, and supposedly our flight to the moon, it was more or less like 60 years. Do you know what happened for another 60? Nothing. We never flew to the moon again. And what did we do for like 60 years? We sent a car to space. We supposedly sent some landing buggy on Mars. Well, maybe. But you see, if you look at all of this, you can see that even simple things like flying through the ocean, over the ocean from Europe to United States. Do you know that Boeing 747 was created in 1969? That was the first year that it lifted off from the ground. And it takes more or less 8 hours, I think, from flying from London to New York. You know what? The same year, the technology was built that allowed Concorde to fly this length in half that time. Do you know what is the time that it takes for the newest plane, which was created in 2005, Airbus 380? You know how much it takes for it to fly from London to New York? 8 hours. The speed of Boeing 747 from 69 and Airbus 380 from 2005 is the same, more or less. Even though we had technology in 69 to fly this in half of the time. Really? We were not able for 50 years to design anything better, even the thing that we had right there. Do you really think that we're making progress? The same thing if you look at the military, if you look at the declassified documents from even the Vietnam War. That was a false flag. Everybody knows right now that it was, US just wanted to go to Vietnam, so they kind of staged this whole thing. And there's tons of declassified documents that will tell you a lot about basically destroying countries, replacing governments just because, we wanted to. Yeah, not a problem. And then you will see that everything that it's there, everything that you can think of, everything is built on a lie. And I wanted to paint this picture so you would understand that this whole world is built on a lie, because lie is enabling for someone to control you, to profit from you, And many times it is profit-based and control-based on your hurting, you being sick, and you dying. That's the consequence. That's why everything which is bad is built on a lie. Every secret society, everything done covertly, it's all based on the same mindset and the same spirit, which comes back to Lucifer and him being liar and the father of lies. But let's look at the other side of the coin. How does our Father, how does he operate? And you can see that everything that he does based on truth. Everything. This is what I said in some few videos ago, that all the military strategies would say this is the dumbest thing he's done, that he laid his plan how to win this war in the open. There's no surprise strategy here you can play, because everything is there in open. He says it openly that everything that he does, firstly he says that to his prophets, and he does. So you see that whatever God does is done in an open and based on truth. And this is why he says that every secret is going to be screamed and yelled from the rooftops. Why? Because that's how he operates. Truth, openness, and unity based on that. Because if you know the truth, no matter how harsh it might be, it will allow you to understand and then to draw some conclusions, build, and create something for betterment of everyone and everything. So you see, this is what I want you to take from this video. If you want to understand what's going on in the world and understand what you're supposed to do with this, you'll have to have discernment. That's that simple. And there's two ways you can get that. You can ask for a gift of discernment. That's a really great thing, because then you can, no matter what happens, you can feel inside, you can feel it in your spirit that something is wrong or this is great. But you can use your wisdom, and you can understand that there are two sources and two management systems in play. There's the Luciferian one, which is built on lies and deception. And there's our Father's one, which is built on truth, openness, and unity based on that. And whatever you're going to try to compare to those models, everything is going to become abundantly clear that it falls under one or the other, never both. So that's why when I talked about vaccinations in the last video, this is what I want you to do. It becomes very important, because the government's trying to force everyone to do this. So you'll have to know what is this, what this is, and what to do about it. So that's why ask yourself a few questions. Check what are people saying about poster boy of this whole thing, Bill Gates. Not what mainstream media says, but what other people say. How he is portrayed in India, let's say. What are his plans for humanity? Check about Dr. Fauci. Check about PCR test. Check about legitimacy of the COVID numbers. And then ask yourself one simple question. Is that falls under lie and deception? Or does it fall under truth, openness, and betterment of everyone and everything? It's going to be abundantly clear what is this and what you're supposed to do about it. That's that simple. So think about it and do something about it. Because if you'll decide to be ignorant and you're just going to close your eyes and say, no, let's just see what happens, you're not only going to completely fall under this chaos, not understanding what's going on and what you're supposed to do with this. Not only are you going to miss your own calling and calling for the church of the last days that we find ourselves in, but you're going to be deceived, because that's the goal of your enemy. And then, if you're going to be deceived, you're going to hurt, and then you're going to die. But if you decide to go and ask for discernment and try to do your homework, then you'll start to see that you will understand what's going on just because simply comparing it to those two models. Then you'll be able to go and align yourself to get into your calling and the calling of your church and understand what you're supposed to do and what can you or are you supposed to do, what you're created to do in this world. Based on one simple thing, one simple saying that is old and still works very, very well. That truth, no matter how painful it might be, it will set you free. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think and what is your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, just give me a shout. I'll be glad to talk about it for you. And that being said, see you in the next video.